Welcome viewers. Today we are going to do the first lesson in the Polygon unit, which is for us Unit 8. We are going to be learning about the sum of all the interior angles of a polygon. And there's a formula for that, and we're looking at the pattern right now. And then we're also going to talk about the sum of all the exterior angles in any polygon. So this is a quadrilateral. If we draw one diagonal, and you can draw it from whichever vertex to the other another vertex, you can see that this quadrilateral can be broken up into two triangles. Sum of the interior angles of any triangle, we know, is 180 degrees, and there's two of them. So if each of them has 180 degrees, the sum of all the interior angles of this quadrilateral is 360 degrees. So the third question says, what is the sum of the interior angles of the quadrilateral? That's just 360. Forgot to put my amplifier on. Didn't charge it, so I hope it works. There we go. All right, everybody go to the next slide. Does that work? Slide number 6. All right, now we've got 5 sides. We've got a pentagon. So how many sides are there? 5. How many diagonals can be built? If I go to construct and segment and just pick a vertex to draw them from. That's good. You can see you're drawing 2 diagonals, and the pentagon can be broken up into 3 triangles. Each triangle has a sum of 180 degrees for the interior angles. So the sum of all the interior angles of any pentagon is 180 times 3, which is the next slide, slide number 7. What is the sum of the interior angles in each triangle? Well, that's 180, and there's 3 of them. So what's the sum there? 540. So I pull up the calculator and I do 180 times 3. Boom, 540. Any questions? How am I doing? How am I doing? It's fire, right? This lesson is fire. You know, when I was younger, we used to say, this is money. She'd be like, this lesson is so money. And I said that to my son the other day, and he's like, Mom, stop saying money. Like, you can use fire. And I was like, what about dope? You know, is that? He's like, no, it's fire right now, currently. So this lesson is fire. Do you guys agree? America, everyone just agreed that this lesson is fire. All right, how many side lengths in the hexagon? 6. How many triangles can you create? All right, exactly. Let's construct those puppies. So how many triangles can you create? 4. Each one has 180 degrees in the interior, so that's 180 times 4. Boom. How am I doing? You see the pattern now? So on the next slide, and we're not going to do this because I'm recording, but really you just fill this in, the number of diagonals from the vertex. If it's 3 sides, it's a triangle. There's no diagonals. Okay, but if it's 4 sides, there's 1 diagonal. If it's 5 sides, it's 2. 6 sides is 3. And you see the pattern. The number of triangles, well, 3 sides is 1 triangle. 4 sides is a quadrilateral, that's 2, and this just goes up. So the sum of the interior angles is the number of triangles times 180. Does anyone have any questions on how to fill that out? If there are 2 triangles, it's 2 times 180. And then for 7 sides, it's just 5 times 180, because there's 5 triangles and each has 180 degrees. I see faces. Who's got a question? Anyone have a question? Okay, faces have changed. We're good. Everyone just needs a second. So here, and you can read this later, but basically this just says, it's a formula. And this formula is not on your formula sheet. It's something some people memorize, but I think it's easier to just understand what's happening, then you don't have to memorize the formula. The formula says n minus 2 times 180. N is the number of sides in the whatever polygon you have, minus 2. N minus 2 is the number of triangles. And then the number of triangles times 180 gives you the sum of all the interior angles in whatever polygon what you've got. So if you understand what we just did in those slides, you don't actually have to memorize this because you'll know it. That's how I like to teach formulas. It's just easier that way because everyone forgets formulas. So here we've got a hectagon. We are not going to draw all these diagonals. What we're going to do is we're going to follow the pattern. It's got 100 sides. How many triangles can we create if we were to draw them, those diagonals? It would be 100 minus 2, right? So that's 98. Where's my pen? 98 triangles. Each triangle has 180 degrees. So you break out your calculator. 98 times, this is going to be a big number. I'm getting 17,640. Good? Everybody okay with this pattern? Okay. Now, for a regular polygon, the only thing here that we're adding on is that if we are told that all the sides and all the angles in a particular polygon are the same, okay, they're congruent, and that means that polygon is regular. Well, what's the measure of one of those angles? Well, we know the sum of all the interior angles in a pentagon is 540 degrees. We just figured it out. So you just take whatever the sum is and divide by how many there are, because they're all the same. So I'm going to have you guys move to slide number 13. Wait, is it slide? I lied. Go to slide 14. We're not going to do every single one of the slides. I'm going to write measure of one interior. Anybody want to answer that? Helbing's personal assistant, how may I direct your call? And then whatever they say, you say that's above my pay grade. Okay, do it. This is great. I'm so glad this happened while I'm recording.
Helbing's personal assistant, how may I help you?
That's above my pay grade. It's above my pay grade.
Oh,
what?
Samantha, you're
Who gets to go home? You get to go home? My mom's never called. 23 years, my mom's never called to have me go home. It's ridiculous. All right, well, have a good day, Sammy. The measure of one interior angle in a pentagon, I'm gonna write equals. The sum is 540, and we are dividing by 5. So I'm just gonna take out the calculator here and do 540. 5 by 5. 108. Is everybody okay with that? I know I didn't follow what the slide said, but I do what I want. This lesson's too long. Let's move on. Go to slide 16. All right, this is the second concept that we're learning today. So if you take this red point right here and move it around, you're going to notice that these angles are not going to change. And if I take them and try to make the lengths of the sides as small as possible, do my best here, you'll see that all these angles make a circle. The sum of the degrees in a circle is 360 degrees. So all we really need to know about exterior angles of how many, of any polygon, is they always add up to 360 degrees, no matter how many sides there are. So to find the sum of the interior angles in a polygon, we need to know, it's important, the number of sides. But for the exterior angles, they always add up to 360 degrees. So I am going to write here 3. I'm just going to answer number 3. What's the sum of the exterior angles? That's 360 degrees. And then I'm going to go to slide 17. And I want you to see the last slide, we had a quadrilateral and the sum of all the exterior angles was 360. Well, now we have a pentagon and the sum is still 360 degrees. You can see if I move that red point like that, you can see it's still a circle. So I'm going to answer number 3. What's the sum of the exterior angles? It's still 360. So what did the sum of all the exterior angles in any polygon always add up to? I don't like how that's written. It's fine. 360 degrees. And the last thing we're going to discuss is, if you're asked to find the measure of one of those angles, all you got to do is figure out how many angles there are, take the sum and divide by how many there are, and that will give you the measure of each of those individual angles. So if I want the measure of 1, I can do 540 is the, no, I lied. We're doing exterior. 360 divided by 5. 360 divided by 5 will give me the measure of 1 exterior angle. Good? All right.